Well, here we are. So, new video for you guys, slightly different content. We are fixing my dad's car, which is the Mk6. We have a suspected, and by suspected I mean pretty sure, his rocker cover gasket is leaking again. So we've bought a new gasket, new ignition leads, new spark plugs, new air filter, gasket sealant. I think that's it. And we're about to buy a torque wrench. Well, my dad's currently at Machine Mart buying a torque wrench. So we're going to shoot off home and then get that job done. So that's the video for today. Slightly different. Maybe it'll help some Mk6 guys out. If you have obviously a rocker cover gasket problem, or if you have these issues with your car. Basically what it is it's a really lumpy idle, and then it's just struggling to even like move. So he's like struggling to get over like 45 and stuff. Like, it's really rough. So we think it might just be the spark plugs and stuff are filled up with oil. Last time we had a quick look the other day at the spark plugs, and it had lots of oil and gunk on it. So yeah, we'll see. Fingers crossed it's just a gasket, and fingers crossed we can fit it correctly. But anyway, I shall see you guys in a bit, and we'll start the install. So this is my dad's car. We need to take the airbox off, so 2 screws, that comes off. We're probably going to undo this, and obviously this just pulls out because it's bad. And then underneath there is the rocker cover. So once you've got the airbox off, they're your ignition leads, so we're going to take those off. You literally just pinch and pull and it comes off. That's what we're currently dealing with, if you can see that. So as you can see, it's got oil on it. And inside there, I don't know if you're going to be able to see in there, but it's caked. So if we just pull every single one out. So there we got new ones I've marked up. The ignition leads, so 1, 2, 3, 4. I've also done the same on the top, just to not mix them up. So if we did have to use these, or if the other ignition leads don't fit properly, we can go back to these, and at least we know what order they go in. Next thing we want to do is basically start taking the cover off. So I might remove this back here, and then it's just these bolts. It's all the way around these bolts. But I'm going to take the ignition leads off and then start taking those bolts off. And then on your air filter, if you want to change an air filter on one of these, 10 screws, literally undo every single screw, and then it just breaks in half. And then that's your air filter, which still looks very new. But yeah. If I remember correctly, they are captive, so once you've undone them, they won't actually come out of the cover. But yeah, just work your way around. So there's like one here, there's one hidden down inside here. I'm sure there's some on the back, there's one there. I mean, even this might need to come out, which is literally just a hex, a spanner on that, and just hex that off maybe. I mean, you can't really go too wrong if you're changing a gasket. Just make sure you're undoing the top ones, and just like I said, just find where they are. There may even be a hidden one inside of here, but I'll get back to you on that one. We've just removed this plug here, hopefully you can see that. This plug connects into that blue connector back there. It does have this metal clip on it. So obviously be really careful when you're removing it, because if you lose the metal clip, your plug won't stay in. So keep that safe. But that gives me access to these bolts without getting this wiring in the way. Okay, so this is how far we got so far. So these sit on there, so you undo those as a spanner. I think they're a 15mm spanner, and then once you're in there, there are 8mm long reach sockets needed for those two. Once again, they are captive, so they do not come out, same as these. So all of these are now undone. In theory, this rocker cover should be able to start coming up. However, I need to now undo, I think it's these ones. So I'm going to undo this, I'm going to undo this. And there is a hidden one where my finger is now, just here. So I'm going to undo those to remove that cover to allow this to come up freely, because as you can see, obviously it looks like this is almost tucked inside of, or that's capped on top. So we'll do that. There may be a hidden few screws down this side, I'm not 100% sure. So, oh, I've got oil on my camera now. That bolt is out. That one is out, but obviously there's no room for it to actually come out. These aren't captive, so that one's not captive, that one's not captive. The one back there is snapped, so we can no longer get that out. So this cover, we've only got this amount of play, but hopefully it's enough that we can basically just lift it and pull it out that way. And then remember that there's an extra one over here as well, which I forgot about. But move that wire out of the way. It will come off and reveal. I don't know what it reveals. I mean, in terms of like oil going inside, I don't know if it always looked like that or what, but it's definitely got residue inside there. That's worrying.
What? Sludge.
Yeah. What do you guys think? I know what I'm thinking. Okay. Well, let's carry on. So Dad's just cleaning the rocker cover up now with brake cleaner and stuff like that. We got to take the spark plugs out, but I don't think that sludge is anything too bad because it's in the spark plug area rather than where the, I think they're called camshafts, rather than where the camshafts are. So I think they're fine. But I mean, it's a really old engine. 160,000 miles, still going. So yeah. Anyway, spark plugs need to come out, and then we can kind of use gasket sealant and do all that kind of stuff. So we've got the cover here. The gasket is going to sit in this little channel around here. So I would recommend just starting from like a corner, just so you know where your gasket should be sitting, and then you can kind of follow it from there. Obviously these are quite big indications of where you can put the gasket first if you want to. And we're also going to put a bit of gasket sealant around the metal edge. So this has all just been cleaned with some brake cleaner. It should be perfectly flat, but I mean, it's the best we can do at the minute. So gasket around here, or gasket sealant around there, the rubber gasket in here, and then the plan is to literally slide it in, pop it down, and then assemble it, and then you've got to leave it for about half an hour to an hour for the gasket sealant to actually work. So that's the plan. So we've got 4 brand new spark plugs, all gapped to 1mm. That seems to be what goes around on the internet about, basically everyone's saying that 1 is better than 1.3 on these engines, so that's what we're doing. And then to put the gasket in, once again, just line up like a certain point, such as that there, because that's like can't go any other way. And then from there, you can literally just line up all of these notches on the side. And they will basically sit into the holes, and you just want to go around the whole thing, make sure it's all nice and in the right place. So all the spark plugs are now in, because neither of us are a mechanic and we have no real idea what we're actually doing. I don't know what torque specs are, but basically I just do them up and then like crank them a little bit tighter. And then we're going to put on a small bead of gasket sealant basically on every surface around here. And then we're going to slide the cover in at kind of that angle, get it in, and then hopefully push it down. And then I'm going to do the bolts up just so they're kind of sitting on it, and then from that point it's kind of a rush, so sorry if I don't get footage of it. But we're going to do, personally we're going to do 5 Nm, which is the lowest the torque wrench can go, and then we're going to do 10 Nm. I think online I read somewhere 9 Nm is the correct torque, but we're going to do it that. So they said 3 and 9, we're going to do 5 and 10, but the difference is minuscule. And there is a certain way of doing these. I'll run through them once it's all on. I'll run through what bolts and what order you need to do them in. So basically, if this is the picture that we're working off, we're having to have it upside down because obviously that left side correlates to the left side. And basically we're just going to follow that. And that's that. So number one, and number two is this next one. So these are all now torqued up. We done them to 9.5 in the end, somewhere in between 10 and 9. Once again, the difference between 10 Newton meters and 9 Newton meters is very, very small. So it's not the end of the world. That's the, hopefully it will focus. This is the picture that you're going to need, and that, I know it's upside down, but that is the direction of the engine. So you can just find this online if you look. I'll probably link it in the description. But basically, you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Back to that one, so 11, 12, 13. So you can do that at 4 to 5 Newton meters, and then you're going to do it up to 9 to 10 Newton meters, same sequence. And basically what that does is it pins down that, and then you start to kind of keep it nice and flat basically as you're doing it. So that is how that's done. We're now going to do the ignition leads onto the spark plugs that once again I've already installed down there, and I've already got them to 1mm. And then the air filter needs to go on. We're going to leave this to set, I don't know, let's just say a few hours, we might as well. And then we'll try and turn it on and see if it works. Obviously we still need to plug this lead back in with that weird clip. And before I forget, we also need to do these bolts on the side. So there's one here, one there, and obviously the snap one at the back. If you manage to get that off, good for you. But yeah, we need to do those up, but they are literally holding this cover on, they're not holding the gasket on, so I'm not too concerned at the minute. So that is the order you need them in. So I labelled them 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's hopefully helps you with the length. Once again, if you've marked them up, you can just take them to the floor like I did, and compare the lengths, and then just follow this video and pop them in the right holes. And then you can also run them in these little clips, and then your ignition leads should come with this little clip also, just to keep them nice and neat. But that is all that done now. Once again, the gasket's still sealing, so we don't really want to do too much on top of it, but the plugs are all good. I'm going to do the side bolts next, and then the airbox in theory can go on, and the plug obviously needs to go in. So my dad has decided that basically this is like the oil filter foam, which kind of leads into that, so it's just kind of to stop anything from going back into there really. But yeah, he's used a bit of kitchen sponge to replace the old one. I mean, it'll work for sure, but yeah, just bear in mind that that perishes, so you can use more foam in there if you want to. So this is a brand new filter, and obviously it comes with this plastic protection. So what we're going to do is we're going to put it in with a plastic, and then that way when it gets dirty we can just wipe it clean, and we're all good to go. So that is the unofficial way of doing a rocker cover gasket. Once again, neither of us are mechanics, so whether that was right or not is all down to internet and just general knowledge of working with things. So it's all back on. You've just got 2 bolts here. We took off that hose clamp just down there, just to basically take that pipe off, and we've kind of bodged this a little bit nicer, so with a bit of electrical tape, just so it's got a tighter fit, because that was broken, so that was kind of just hanging out. So yeah, all we need to do now is restart the car, but we're going to leave it a little bit. Make sure the gasket's sealed, and then we'll start it up. It will be rough on startup because of the amount of oil that probably fell into the spark plugs holes when I took them out. But hopefully after a minute or two it should relax and kind of go back to normal, if that was the problem. Any better? So my dad's just gone for a test drive. It started up way nicer, and the exhaust sounds less poppy, which obviously means it's not misfiring, hopefully. That was a strange sound. I don't know if you guys heard that. Anyway, so yeah, video done. Hopefully that kind of helps you if you've got a Mk6 and you need to install a rocker cover gasket. That's the way we've done it, and it seems to have been successful so far. Obviously when he gets back, we'll know if it's still lumpy or not. As it should have. He's only driving down the road, but it should have burnt the oil off by then, or at least pushed it out the exhaust. So yeah, hopefully that helped you. For anyone who's my normal subscribers, and if you've made it this far in the video, let me know you're still here in the comments. It's nice to see kind of the difference between the loyal subscribers who will watch any of my videos and the ones that are simply here for Mk6 mods. I've decided I will be keeping my car for at least the next year, maybe year and a half, as I've put my money elsewhere, which will hopefully be really beneficial in about 3 to 5 years time. Really beneficial. I'm almost excited for it. So yeah, my money has now gone elsewhere, so we will see. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Leave a like, comment down below if you're still here. And if you've got any questions or if you need any advice, hit me up on Instagram as well. That'll appear here. Thanks for watching, guys.